Hi, good morning everybody. Welcome to Saga Live Morning Routine. We're going to be calling this day number 11. I realized there wasn't a show for day number 10. I'll probably put up an interstitial video on YouTube just to show what that was about. There was no day number 10 because I challenged everybody out there to do their own thing on day number 10. So with me not around, with Brett or Abra not running the camera, what were you doing for yourself? What were you doing for yourself on your not day off? We're gonna get everything started here. I'm just a little bit behind. I feel like this is the optimal. Here's the lesson. Here is the lesson. If you take a day off, how much more work does it take to get back on the train? And I've been living that kind of life a very long while. As you can see, we're still putting things together today. But we're gonna get our opening stuff done by 9:10 sharp. And when we do that, we're gonna go right into a very brief technique tutorial. I don't know if it will be brief, but it won't be long. And we're also going to go into our workout, because now we're going to really start calling it a workout. If you want to join me on that part, I know a lot of you came to this channel for that. Not everybody's here just to listen to the sound of my voice, as soothing as it may be. So if you're out there in Facebook land, I'm just now bringing everything up. Brett, this looks like a radically different shot right here. Because I'm sitting profile and it's a different angle than what we're used to. It's kind of cool. I'm going to bring up the video. If you're there live with us, please be sure to share the video on your personal timeline and let people know what you're up to. It really helps if you tell people, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to enjoy it. Would you like to join me? For us, it's always about building that community and sharing it with our friends, because we never know who's out there that might actually need what we have. So, let's see. I have to do that real quick. Share and share like. I'm so Bob Rogers-y today. I know it's the very beginning and I'm already feeling super happy.
Josh says good morning.
Good morning, Josh. Day 11 is getting started. Join us over at Saga Action Arts and let's start this day off.
Anthony and Adriano say good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Alright, I've posted that. I've got the timer ready to go when we need the timer. Brett's running the time. It is 9:04, so we've got 5 more minutes to chat and chill. Let's check it out. See what we've got. Well, I've got a new day. I did fill out Sunday. Monday, it's today, March 30th, 2020. Daily habit, my morning routine. Oh, I can check off yesterday's because I did mine yesterday. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Wendy. Hi, Adriano. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Josh. Hi, Caitlin. We got our nice little regular community coming in. That's really good. Focus. Today's focus. I'm not going to write that down. I'm going to go right into the grateful. I am grateful for Brett producing this show, because without Brett, the show would not go on at all.
You guys did all right the past couple of days.
We did all right the past couple of days, but the only reason we did all right is because you were here before setting it up so that we knew what we needed to do. So thank you, Brett. Brett producing this show. Today I'm exceedingly grateful for coffee. We're just going to put coffee. One word. Do it. What else am I grateful for? I feel like some things are still really up in the air with the world right now, but I think it was a little bit helpful that they finally made that decision about April 30th. So I can kind of say I'm grateful that I have an idea that for the next month, I at least know I'm not going anywhere. So a little bit of, what would that be when it's less that you don't know what's going on? Stability? I don't know if it's stability. Assurity? I don't know if assurity is a word. A little bit more direction. Let's just say that. A little bit more direction. You use your own words for whatever you want to say. By the way, you're never supposed to write what I'm grateful for. You're supposed to write what you're grateful for. And I hope that's not what's happening out there.
When he says certainty?
Certainty. Oh my goodness. How do we... You can tell the coffee has not kicked in yet. A little more certainty. Alright, affirmation. I can be a hero who inspires others with a smile. I don't know why I said that so creepy at the end. And it is 9 o'clock, so that is there. Alright. You got 3 more minutes. Everybody else, please check in, roll call, have some fun. It's good to see everyone. Good to have you back, Brett, says Anthony. Josh, yay, Brett. Caitlin, morning. Oh man, it's so cool to see all these comments. I will absolutely admit that I missed people yesterday. I made my little coffee video just to have a video to make and to let people know if they missed the show that day 10 was their responsibility. Again, check out the Wikipedia link. There's a couple of links about how in a couple of different cultures 9 is kind of this number that is a conclusion. So while we did go for a straight week, I didn't want to take the weekend off. I really wanted to keep powering through just to make it clear that the morning routine isn't necessarily something that you stop just because of Saturday, Sunday. So when I did that and I ended it on day 9, I just keep going with that number throughout all the Saga curriculum the best that I can. But that also meant that like day 10 is also kind of day 0. It's your time to check in on you to determine what you need to keep doing. Do you need to keep doing this show, for instance? You might not need to do it anymore. Maybe you've got something that works best for you. And then day 0 then will become day 1 and we're going to start again. So for today's technique tutorial, we're going to do something a little bit easier. Certainly easier than last week's, but then when we get into the workout component, it is going to be, now we have this whole workout, we're going to be able to do it all the way through all at once. It might hurt a little bit first thing in the morning, but we are going to actively try to take everything that we had just done and just up it a notch, because we owe it to ourselves now that we're leveling up. Matt Naslanik, good morning folks. Good morning, Matt. We are in the studio, by the way, where you're trying to upgrade some stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end, but hopefully the audio is coming in a little bit cleaner today. We added some sound blankets to the walls that you cannot see. We don't know anything about audio among the 3 of us, except that it sounds bouncing off things. And we're going to hopefully keep building and improving the set for everyone out there. All right. Why don't we just get started? Is everybody ready to start the day? Let's go. Today we're going to do a very brief technique tutorial. We're going to go through a couple of moves from a Tai Chi set that I got from Fundi John Weeks and Fundi Janet Thomas. This set is really, some people will think of it as a Chi Gong set, some people will think of it as a Qui Gong set or a Ni Gong set. I just say it's a Tai Chi like standing workout set. We're not going to go through the whole set today. It would take me more than the whole video to explain the whole set. But we're going to go through the first 2 moves. These moves are more about the principles behind them rather than just the moves themselves, although learning the moves is really fun in the sense that you will develop this body awareness that we're always working for in these morning routine exercises. Oh, Caitlin Sell says, I am so grateful for the community. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. That's what we want to do for all of you. And you all do it for me. So we are going to do 2 of these Tai Chi workouts. We're just going to bust right through them. And we're going to, let's just go. Let's just go. So Brett, I'm going to actually have to stand up for these. I totally forgot that there's a thing called a top-down check-in. Let's do a top-down check-in before we do our Tai Chi exercises. So moving that head, rolling it around, however you need to. Get that neck opened up, get it limber, get things a little looser and awake and activated, energized as it were. I could have sworn I was going to wake up super early today. Ended up waking super late. Shoulders, whenever you're ready. I ended up waking up way later than I intended. Iron Man palms. And so what you'll notice is that I don't have my hair gel in, and I don't have my toe socks on because I couldn't find them this morning and we had so much other stuff to do. Arms, however you need to. Just waking it all up. Upper body. A bit of a boxer dodge. Keeping those hips isolated. Basically, you know, just do slips. Yep. Down on my hips. Again, we're working regions of our bodies, everybody. Whatever I do personally, it does not have to be what you do to keep up. You can do your own thing. I just have these moves, like these hip hinges, that I know really wake up the parts of my body that first thing in the morning are like frozen. They're stiff, you know? Do some push kicks if you want. You don't have to actually put any force behind it. You just lengthen the leg. Knee circles. Stepping a little bit. As loud and chatty as I am in the morning routine videos sometimes, it's also can be a really good idea to start your morning off quietly. Alright, knees. That's why we're going to do just a little bit of this Chi Gong Tai Chi sort of stuff. We're going to work on allowing ourselves to quiet down just a little bit. We got all excited with that first week of creating cool new stuff. That now that we have all that, we are going to want to do your ankles. We're going to want to be able to check ourselves, catch ourselves before we wreck ourselves. And before we get addicted to hardcore working out, we want to keep making sure that when we start off our day, we keep it slow and simple to a point. Because even though we're going to bust through a lot of this stuff, the goal isn't to be an explosive athlete right out of getting out of bed. The goal is to warm up. The goal is to warm up and get the body going. And then attack those workouts. Alright. I'm going to take a sip of coffee.
Penelope has jumped in. Say good morning.
Good morning, Penelope. Take a sip of coffee. And we're going to go into a little bit of Tai Chi. It's 9:15. All right, top-down check-in went about the right amount of time. This should only take about 5 minutes. We don't have to explain everything from here going forward. If you're joining us live, do your best to keep up. If you are joining us live and you're just enjoying the community and you're enjoying what you're seeing, but you can't keep up because we're throwing a lot of information out at once, get through the video, like and share it if you want to help us out. But if you want to go back to earlier content on YouTube, there's a whole playlist that goes through days 1 through 9 with a lot of technique tutorials peppered throughout. Time codes are included on every single video for the morning routines. So if you don't mind, just shuffle through my lovely Bob Rogers voice. You can always just find the content that you need based on those timestamps. So I received, when I first trained, the first time I ever did Kung Fu, my teacher, who I just really met that day when I went to my first class ever, Fundi John Weeks, put me out on his back porch and said, here's a technique, showed me the technique, then left. Oh, before he left, he said, now do that until I come back. Then he left. He then came back 45 minutes later, and I was a 17-year-old kid. I was in high school. I had my depression issues. I had my social anxiety issues. I was smart, but I wasn't doing well. Homework was a problem. Home life was a problem. Everything was chaos. So when Fundi John Weeks, when he left the porch and went downstairs and said, do this move until I come back, and what was I saying this morning? Certainty when it comes to time is very, very helpful. That's why some people do the memento mori thing. They're knowing they're going to die, so they're just going to do their best until that happens, that eventuality occurs. I was like, wow, balls in my court. So I did the moves until he came back. It was very sweaty out. The weather was nice and warm. I think it was getting close to summer. And he came back and he gave me a second move. And he said, do that until I come back. So I'm going to be giving everybody out there on our second set of sessions these 2 moves for today. I'm going to try and get them done in about 5 to 10 minutes. These come from a set, my mind is blanking. Wow, I know what this is called. Ah, right, the 5 organ set. So there's 6 moves in it, but it's the 5 organ set. I'm not going to get into the Taoy sort of Chi sort of stuff. We're just going to look at these as moves for what they are. But one of the main reasons that I want us to do them is I want us to get back into breath work so that we can start carrying that back into our workouts a little bit more consciously. Remember, with these wake up workouts especially, breathing in and out, building up that circulation, regaining a lot of our oxygen supply, that's going to be important. I gotta get going on this. First thing that we're gonna do, too close to the camera. I know we're kind of like boxed in today. Some weird sounds happening. First thing I'm gonna do, feet are gonna stand shoulder width apart. Hands are gonna be down by my sides. All I'm going to do is I'm just gonna sink by bending my knees just a little bit. And then I'm going to come back up. So we're going to break down this technique. This first technique in the set that I learned it from is called Send Chi to 4 limbs. You do not have to worry about what it sounds like. We are not trying to go into hippy-dippy woo-woo land. We are just trying to come up with moves that help us wake up and build body awareness. So when I start this move, you'll notice that my knees are bending, but I'm not sitting out. I'm not bending over, I'm not leaning back. I'm trying to go straight up and down as best as I can to the full range of motion that I have with my legs. So if the furthest I can go while standing straight up is this deep, that's great. If the furthest I can go is this deep while standing straight up, keeping my back straight, that's great. If you can go lower than that, you are really weird flexible. And go you. Yeah, I'm looking at the video and I can see that my back is mostly straight. Again, if this is as far as you can go, that's fine. What we're going to do is that as we sink, our arms are going to open. So I have my arms down by my sides, and as we sink, they're close to our body, and then they're just going to open slightly. So what we're doing is that as we sink down, we're also going to breathe in. And our arms opening up are going to kind of be symbolic of filling our lungs. So as I breathe in and my arms spread, I'm also thinking about filling my lungs with air. So I'm filling up this balloon as I sink, and then as I rise, I breathe out and empty it. You will be surprised that by doing this move slowly, you will be getting a little bit of a quad burn. There's no need to do this move fast. It is about timing the move with your breath.
Question from Becca: do your feet point straight forward, or can they be out a bit?
You can have them out a bit, but ideally you're working on the flexibility of the ankles. So you do not want to have that sheer position of knees over a 45-degree foot. So I would recommend, to be honest, Becca, this is one of those situations where you really do want to copy the form as best as possible and not necessarily adapt it to you, because the adaptation comes from the lack of flexibility and trying to build more rather than trying to compensate by doing a different type of motion. That's how a lot of Tai Chi works. These moves are very prescribed, and if you're unable to do some part of it, you want to focus on doing the thing that they're asking you to do as small as possible with the breath work so that you can start training your body to go into that direction.
And Anthony's asking, should the heels stay on the ground?
Heels absolutely stay on the ground for this one. This is a very rooted posture. So great questions. With those asked, let's just break down this technique all the way through, get it done, and we're going to do a few reps together because we got to keep moving today. We want to get everything done today, possibly by 10 a.m. I'm going to challenge us. That's going to be really hard because these first two moves are intended to be slow. So, knees bent, arms to the side. You can see that my hands kind of open up as I sink. They don't have to stretch out or anything like that. That is an optional one. And then as you come back up, breathing out as if you're like billowing yourself back up. The lungs are emptying, you're squeezing. So, I open. And then I breathe out, and I rise. Focus on the breath. A couple of things about the breath work. Number one, internal martial arts and Tai Chi especially, at least the way that I was taught, but I've seen it in other systems, is your tongue goes to the roof of your mouth. Between the hard palate and the soft palate is how we were instructed. Some people like to say that this is a Chi thing. Totally fine. I like to say that when your tongue is pressed to the roof of your mouth, it actually relaxes your jaw muscles, but keeps them actively engaged. And I'm not saying slack God, but you're not squeezing hard either. It's kind of almost like biting down on a piece of rubber. It keeps a little bit of separation, but because you're firing a muscle, it's keeping it activated. When I have a lot of jaw tension, putting the tongue to the roof of my mouth and breathing helps a ton. In some ways, having that activation is, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble, but can be almost as useful as having a mouth guard in some ways, because you're holding something firmly and you're keeping it protected with energy. Now, I'm not saying Chi energy, I'm just saying activation. So tongue to the roof of your mouth, crown to the ceiling, tailbone to the floor, straight spine, hands to your sides, breathe in and sink. And breathe out and rise. Turn to the other side. The timing is critical here. This is how we're actually building our body awareness. We want to cue in the breath with the movement. So as I start breathing, I sink and I try to get to the end of my breath by the end of my movement. And then when I rise, try to time the end of my breath out with the end of my posture. I'm going to face the camera. I'm going to do this 5 times, and then we're going to move on. Ready? 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. So even at the top of the posture, you want to kind of keep a soft bend to the knees, but you do not have to, when I'm saying, you don't have to push up super duper hard. There's going to be this feeling of a flexible, supple body all the way through. As you get good at Tai Chi, in my opinion at least, the power comes from not just being able to flop up and down, but to be able to control those slow motions. So for anybody that was there when I was talking about watch protocol or mind muscle connection, again, it's that same thing. I don't just have the information about how my body works from here and here in this 1-2 sort of movement, kind of like our Kung Fu exercise. I have the information, I have the mental map of my movement from here to 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 here, and back up here to 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 here. It's like adding more resolution to my body. I don't want to belabor this video. I really want to get through quickly. So we're going to save the next Tai Chi move for tomorrow's session, which is fine. We've got all the time in the world right now. Take Sen Chi to 4 limbs home. Play with it. If you start feeling stressed or anxious at some part of the day, go off to another room, go out of sight. I mean, you can do this around people if you want. I'm just assuming you don't want to. And just breathe in, breathe out. Good energy, bad energy. We don't have to make it anything religious. If you want to be spiritual about it, that's up to you. But if you want to just have a secular idea of kind of recalibrating your body, it can be that for you. It's helped me out a lot. I remember doing my Tai Chi once when I had to learn the ladder fall at Six Flags America, which is you climb up a 20-foot ladder, you hold on to it for dear life, they push it and you fall back into a mat at 45 miles per hour. I was losing my mind, I was freaked out. I did my Tai Chi up there for like 6 minutes. Everybody was like, what is he doing? And I was like, I'm just doing Tai Chi. I'm just trying to breathe. I'm just trying to settle myself. Then I did the thing and it was a blast. And I was like, oh my God, again. And then I ran over and I got up and I did it again. But I brought myself back to center. I took away my anxiety for a minute by focusing on the move and the breath work. And that's what Tai Chi's done for me. But as you can see, it's not usually the first thing I go out of my way to introduce to people. Because a lot of people won't get it. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. We're 9:30. A little bit over time probably, but we're ready to go into the planks. Who's ready for their planks? I'm not hearing everybody. Who's ready for their planks? I just realized why it's so quiet. I didn't put on the music this morning. Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Hunter, chill mix. Ooh, that sounds nice. Cool. Chill out deer. I guess that's the name of the artist. I'm going to throw that in the chat. So sorry for not having our music going, especially during holding postures and doing Tai Chi. Yeah, we all ready for planks?
Josh and Anthony are. And so is Penelope.
There we are. This is a fun one. I'll turn this around so you can see the screen. I just posted this in the chat. Love this picture. I'm sure it's like a video game reference or something. Actually, I'm thinking that might be The Witcher. You got the two swords and white air. And there's castles. Nice picture though. Got a little bit of beat. Alright, get your timer, get ready to do-si-do. We're going to go right into our planks. Today, we are going to be holding them for 45 seconds. During the morning routine show, I am never going to, I've made this kind of executive decision so that the video can just kind of go at the speed it needs to go to. I'm never going to hold the planks for longer than 45 seconds for the morning routine video. However, if you ever want to challenge yourself and do them for a full minute or more time, and of course if you ever need to do them less, it's not like I'm there staring at you, making sure you do everything the way that I do everything. Do you. I personally, when I'm doing it by myself, go for 55 seconds. But to keep this video moving along, 45. I'm going to click start. You have 30 seconds to prepare. Again, do whatever posture works best for you. For me, it's high plank, low plank is what I found works my abs and my chest. Sometimes I might do some sort of back bend or something, but this is all for my crushing and pushing power. This is all for my forward core power. I have other exercises for my back that we'll talk about later. All right.
5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1, and plank. That's... I totally did mine yesterday. I did mine for 55 seconds. I did mine listening to my Arnold Schwarzenegger motivation video. It was way harder doing it without everybody, doing it without talking. Focusing on the breath, focusing on the squeeze. Make sure now that you've been holding this posture for a while, you really start having your intention on that squeeze. Holding this maximal posture, you want to almost think about like squeezing a rock to get water out of it. It's something that's never going to happen, but you can get your own sweat going if you squeeze hard enough. Your whole body, crushing power. That big flex. Same thing for the low one. If I imagine kind of trying, if I can start visualizing my abs coming together, so especially if I feel like they're ripping apart and then I squeeze them together. So I lower and I squeeze and then I hold that squeezed posture. And then I focus on my breath work. And that's where the vibrations come from. Because you're holding that tension and you're letting it out, but you're not losing the posture. Oh, it's a different feeling to not talk. I'm gonna go back the other way. I swear the set looks so different when we have the lights in different places. Yeah? Brett's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'll go back to shutting up and doing my planks. Just shut up and do your planks, Dylan. Nobody wants to hear what you think during plank exercises. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right, Brett. Message received. How many eyeballs of Sauron do we have today?
10, but it's been fluctuating between like 10, 14. We don't know.
It's been going up though.
Yeah, they popped in a lot faster than before.
So if any of you have friends that aren't biggest fans of me, you can send them the video right now and be like, watch this idiot do planks. It's another trick to get people to share it. Pushing through, squeezing that stone, firing the muscles, not being lazy. Lazy is good. Lazy is totally acceptable. Lazy exists for a reason. But we want to hold the pressure in these planks because we're building up the ability to fire everything all at once. That mind-muscle connection where we are totally alive in our bodies and able to have control over them without stressing out. Building structure, as it were. And breaking a sweat. What round is this, Brett?
You're finishing up round 4.
Man, okay.
And it's like, we know exactly how long this is going to take, so.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just wondering because I thought I might be on like round 6 and I'm like, nope, still got more to go.
You're past the middle.
That's honestly one of my favorite things about doing this is, as much as it sucks, when I'm like, oh man, I'm almost done, right? And then I realize I'm not. That's the best mental training. It's like I was talking about with my teacher putting me on his porch and having me just do this move until the end of time. The advantage is that I had the ball in my court. I knew that after I'd done that, and I've used this as like the beginning of a lot of essays about my personal backstory and everything, I knew that once I did that I could take the ball, have it in my court, and make the decisions. I knew that it was up to me to be responsible for my behavior. And I was a kid that was not responsible for his behavior all the way from elementary school, all the way up through high school, all the way into college. So even after I learned that lesson, and up until recently, for my whole life, I still had to implement it. But more than anything else, Kung Fu taught me to be responsible for my own behavior, that I could determine how long I was going to sit in the posture, or that if the posture was supposed to be held for a long period of time, that I could push myself to do it further. Kind of created a perfectionist streak in me that I had to end up losing that a little bit too. Because we don't want to overdo it, right? We gotta be compassionate with ourselves. We can't always do everything that we want to be able to do. But if we want to try it, we can always try it. And I think that's the overall point, is that you can always tell yourself that you're capable. You don't have to be able to do the full Olympic athlete version of whatever it is that's happening. But you are always capable of finding a way to do some version of it, some version that actively engages you, so you're not just like, yeah, sure, whatever. And something that pushes you so that you can see and start tracking your own personal growth. That's what these routines are for. They are partially to check off a box, but they're also so that you can explore your personal growth first thing in the morning and feel accomplished, because as human beings, we always want to grow. So if I'm more engaged with these planks, even though I haven't changed the time, I'm growing. If I'm starting to feel more things, I'm exploring different stuff. I'm discovering how strong I really am. Let's see here, after the planks, it's the Kung Fu 4 basics. Out of all the curriculum I've learned, I'm assuming this morning routine's been mostly being Kung Fu style stuff. And that's my first art. It's my mother art, is my Kung Fu and Tai Chi. That was the first thing I ever learned. Aside from karate when I was like 7. I don't count that as much. So it makes sense that it ends up being how I would start my day. All right, let's do the 4 basics. So at this point, I'm not going to be saying this exercise, that exercise, this exercise, that exercise as separate chunks. It's going to be called doing the 4 basics. And it is going to include the brush floors, the horizontal chi raise, the elbow to toe, and the vertical chi raise. We are going to keep the numbers relatively the same today. We're just going to work on the rate of fire now. So we're not going to go faster, we're going to keep going the same thing, but the rate's going to go up because we're going to have less breaks. Brush floors, step forward with your right foot. Again, 10, 10, 10, 10, 40 total for today. Yeah, 10, 10, 10, 10, 40 total for today. When you're ready, join me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feet come together, feet go apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feet come together, feet go apart. Ready? 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feet come together, feet go apart. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And feet come together. All right, brush floors are done. Let's go into that horizontal chi raise. My feet come together. Trying to find the part of the mat that's going to be safest for me. It's danger zone. Feet come together, hands come to your sides. Breathe in, fill the lungs. Breathe out, drop out to the sides. And that's your 1. 14 more. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, shake it out a bit. Elbow to toe. We're going to do, what was I saying, 20 total? Let's do 20 total today. I kick out, hands together, try and reach the elbow to the toe. I come back up, come back together to the other side. That's 1. 2, 3, stretch out those legs. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, back up. Shake it out a bit. Get ready for your vertical chi raises, everyone. This one's going to be important because we're just at the end. So, feet shoulder width apart, shoulder width and a half. My bad. Feet planted into the ground, hands coming up. Breathe in, heels come up off the ground. Breathe out, shoot down. All right, butt goes back like a deadlift. Breathe in. Let's go for 2. 2, 3, 15 total. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You did it. Kung Fu. All right. Oh, feeling really energized. I bet y'all can see I'm like practically sparkling now. Let's take a second. Come on over to the screen. See how everybody's doing. Matt, you rest whenever you need to rest. If you did an extra long walk, you did an extra long walk. It's part of the reason why we have the Tai Chi, the Send Chi to 4 limbs that I did at the beginning. If you feel like you can't keep up with these athletic motions for right now, explore something like Send Chi to 4 limbs and slowly start grinding into the muscle tissue just a little bit so that you're breaking up the scar tissue, which, again, I don't know anything about that really, but it's basically you're moving myofascial, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure there's someone out there that understands science that can talk about it better than me. One of these days we'll have Dash come down and explain all this stuff to everyone. Let's see. I skipped planks yesterday and I'm feeling them way more today. You skipped planks! That's okay, you're supposed to do your own thing, Josh. But you skipped planks. You're gonna have a problem with you, Josh. You're a rebel, aren't you? What we have here is a failure to communicate. Which I don't know why I said that more like Jack Nicholson, but...
No, you did not say it like,
I know, I'm just playing around. Mombasa Inception. What? Still hard, but easier than before. Wendy, those elbow to knees feel so good. Waking up the legs. Yes, those are amazing. My teacher and a lot of people in that Kung Fu lineage literally can get their elbow to their toe. And the real trick, the mastery of flexibility that they like to show off, is they bite their toe. I do not have this level of mastery, clearly. I think some of them have shorter legs, but it's really about the back being opened up and not just the legs. So if you can bite your own toe, you have a Shaolin monk level of flexibility. Ah, okay, I see what you're saying, Anthony. It's the music. When do you skip the planks too? Alright. I've been playing with bending my arms slightly in the high planks, and it really engages my arms chest more. It's fun. Absolutely, Becca. Absolutely. I tried that a few times myself. I'm mostly working on just a certain type of hold, but that is what you're trying to do. If you find something that awakens a part of your body and helps you engage with it and lets you develop it, then that's good. I like that idea. Bend them if you like it. That's awesome. Also, gross. I don't know what Matt's saying. What's gross? Oh, biting your toe. Yes. It's very gross. Wash your feet. Wash your damn feet. So here we are. We've crossed off 2 of our exercises. We've got 2 more pieces of the wake-up routine to go. I think the next one, unless I'm missing something, is the Savate Leg Holds.
That'll be the next one.
That should be the next one, right? I'm going to do those for 30. Savate Leg Holds. Ah, that got the blood flowing. Yes, it did, Penelope. We're going to go a little bit over. Like another catchphrase from the show. Get ready for your Savate Leg Holds. I'll bring this back so that it ends up being in the camera shot too. Might try a couple of more things today, but really the goal is just to stay consistent. If you want to, you can start pumping that leg. Oh, I remember what I wanted to do to possibly add to this, so I'll explain as we go. Ready? Up. Alright, one of the things that you can do to start adding is that you want to keep that slightly athletic bounce, but if you also occasionally want to work on pedestaling the root leg, this is going to end up being a very big deal in Savate. Being able to pedestal it down and hop back up. Also, it's basically doing a standing pistol squat. If you're capable of that, just make sure that you maintain the structure and balance of this leg. You don't want this one wobbling around, unless that's the goal. But you can start bending that base leg a little bit up and down if you want, now that you've got it going. Holding it static though from time to time is also really great, so don't just all of a sudden throw that out. Just know that if you want, you can add this in, so make sure that you bend that knee and come back up. This will be really important for our fouette bas kicks, our chassé bas kicks, when we're kicking low and attacking leg targets. So when we do our Saga Savate video series, you're going to see what all those techniques mean. And see, now this is engaged the whole way through, and I'm able to just focus on this leg because I've already unconsciously trained that holding leg to stay up. I don't even have to think about it anymore. So it's like Adriana was saying a couple of sessions ago, he's talking and doing all this stuff while doing all these moves. I can barely keep up with the video. And I'm like, yeah. So you can have the heel extended now if you want. If you want to, you can also pump the leg. You don't have to. Now unconsciously hold that leg up if you can. Still try not to lean back too much. We're doing 30 seconds today, keeping it fairly light and easy. All right. Halfway there. There's round 3. Keeping it fairly light and easy, but focusing on really feeling that engagement. All right. Heel comes up on this one. We want to start training this heel drive for our chassé frontal or our push kick. So by having this heel up, we're pulling the toes up as well, and we're presenting the bottom of the foot. So it's not lazy like that, it's pulled up like that. We're going to end up turning that into a chamber later on. For right now, we're just working on getting the quad up and holding it while we move around. Good. Last set, we're gonna hold the fouette chamber position. That's gonna be the heel is trying to touch our butt and our leg is turned over. All right, here we go. Turning over the leg, holding the guard up. Let's see how well I can hold it. I just kind of wanted to have this one so that I'd have something good for the thumbnail for the morning routine. Start your day off right with Dylan's ridiculous savate postures. Yeah! Alright, now the other side. Oh, that is gonna look good as the thumb. It's like a combat yoga pose. To the right now, y'all. Pull that heel back to the butt. Bounce a little bit. Basically like doing like a Chun-Li pose. Like that one time Jackie Chan played Chun-Li. We all remember that, right? Brett, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, City Hunter.
Definitely his best work. Alright, still going. Still going. And done. You're done with your savate for the day. And again, when we make an intense tutorial series for savate postures and everything like that, you'll be able to go deeper in depth with knowing what those techniques are and what they're for. But for today, just do your best to hold up your legs and bounce around a bit. Alright. One more move. Our stretch set. I'm going to bring the mat forward just a little bit. You can come in and chill with everybody. Again, this is the stretch set that I've been using, and I don't want to personally change it up on myself just yet because I want to see the progress. If you find that this stretch set doesn't work for you, develop one that works for you. I give you permission. You give you permission. You're learning a lot about your body now. You're learning a lot about what it feels like. You're learning a lot about how to explore it. Just like Becca was saying about bending your elbows during the planks a little bit, find what you want to develop. All I ask is that you try and keep a meaningful personal practice and challenge yourself to at least do it 9 or 10 days in a row. I think if you do it for those 9 days in a row, that's more than a week, so you're giving yourself a little bit more. And if it's less than 10, then you can do that whole like, well, 9 is completion number thing, and kind of check that off the box as well. So let's just say that for everybody in the Saga community, your challenge isn't to do 10 days, your challenge isn't to do 7 days, your challenge is to always do 9 days of something new that you want to develop. Alright, let's bust out that timer one last time today. Getting through this, we're flying through it. 30 seconds by 15 for our stretch holds. Again, we're trying to be a little active. We're not being passive. Our goal is to feel what opens up as it goes. Try and start bringing back the breathing from the Tai Chi. I breathe in, and on out, I relax deeper into the posture. So let's go for it. Are we ready? Is that timer almost to 0?
Yeah, 3.
And bending into it. Dropping into that posture. Just flopping down. Whatever stretch works for you, this is just what I like. I'm activating the feet. I'm breathing in, and I'm letting it out. Everybody should be really sweaty this morning since we just did all of that work non-stop. Almost there. All right, to the center. Try and get your chest to the floor is what you want to imagine. I still like putting my chin up so that I'm keeping my back sort of straight rather than bending it over and curling it. I ain't just doing that to look at the camera. All right, to the right. Opening up that right side. And again, we're doing this at the end of the workout. We're not doing it at the beginning. We wake up, we build the body awareness. These workouts are all very low impact, even the chi raises, because it's just body weight. We're dropping, but we should be we should feel supple. We should feel bouncy. We're not trying to slam things necessarily. So we're using this stretch at the end as both a cool down, but also now that our body's warmed up, we can explore that space just a little bit more effectively. We don't have to worry about pulling something by overdoing it. You should always warm up before you stretch for flexibility. If you're trying to stretch for flexibility while your body's cold and your muscles aren't oxygenated and you're just like, bleh, you're not going to get that far and you could hurt yourself. At least that's what I've been told. I'll ask Dash if I'm right about that. I think I'm right about that. Almost there. Just powering through this. I know the stretch is the hard part, right? Back to the center. Nice and deep. Breathing in and breathing out to get low, get low. Ah, it's nice to feel that sweat. And I cheated and I went over early. It's almost like I'm earning this hoodie, right? This thing to be my big sweat rag. Collect all of my morning dew. I'm definitely opening up on this side a lot more, which is something I need. My right leg is my dumb leg. It does not like to open up. Dr. Brian Stoops likes to call your opposite side your complementary side. This is definitely my complementary leg. Notice how I'm able to maybe even try and start sitting forward on the center ones. I'm able to push my hips forward a little bit. I really want to feel that activation on the underside of the leg. And now to the left. Definitely way deeper than when I started. Breathing in and out. Almost there. Almost the end of this. I'm gonna bite that toe. Not right now. And it's not from this posture anyways. That would be absolutely insane. Definitely feeling more flexible than I have in years. Oh, we still got more?
You're on 5.
We're on 5, which means that this will be the last. I was like, we're about to be done. Self-discipline, mental discipline, mental discipline. Alright, to the end now. Finish it strong. I know this is the hardest part of the workout, but you really should be pushing yourself through these stretches a little bit. That's why after the stretch, you need to wobble out. You need to kind of bring it back down. You don't want to just like start jumping up and down. You need to let the noodles go back to normal. Listen to my amazing physiology talk. Alright, shake it out. Move it around a little bit. Get it open. We are done with today's workout. Awesome job, everybody at home. Thank you for following along with that. We're going to go to our community Q&A for just 10 minutes. So we are now officially working our way towards slightly better time efficiency with these videos. Meant to get this one done at 10 sharp, but had...
I let you go with Tai Chi stuff.
Yeah, the Tai Chi stuff. But hey, I didn't go into the second move. So, question of the day for today. For the audience. Yes, Matt, City Hunter. Jackie Chan's finest hour.
No, he was referencing your Strother Martin reference from Cool Hand Luke. I'm kidding.
Did Brett just make like a salty Korean film reference or something?
No, you were doing the Cool Hand Luke thing.
Oh, the Cool Hand Luke. Oh, okay. Right. Got the blood flowing. Sorry, Josh and Wendy. It was nice knowing. No one is obligated to do anything that I tell them to do during these videos on their not days off. It's just do something, get up and do it. You should be coming up with something that is yours to do every day on top of doing the morning routine video. That is the thing that you should absolutely be doing on day 10 of any session or day 0 of any session. All right, so today's question for the community. I have 2 that I want to ask, but I think we're just going to get this one done. We'll see how long this one takes to answer. Yeah. No, I'm going to ask this one because we feel like we've already gotten the answers from people on this one. So here's the next one. And this one will come up every once in a while. Please tell me, and everybody in the chat, one fictional hero that inspires you. And it needs to be a fictional hero. We have a question about real life heroes. That's really important. But what superhero or anime character or video game character or book character, which character that was written by somebody else that exists in a fictional world, well, I mean, they could also exist in the real world, just be fictional. What character has inspired you, and what's a trait of theirs that is part of that inspiration? We're going to keep going until 10:10, so I really, really, really want to hear from everybody out there what their answers are. I realize some people might have written them in the Saga community already, but this is to share with the world. If it's too private for you, you don't have to. Totally understand. I want to give you answers, and then I want to give the answer of my own. So please, share with us. Also, I look 12 today.
That's understandable. Right.
I decided to shave, and now I have no face, and I didn't do my hair, so now I just look like a lazy 12-year-old. You're gonna watch me evolve over the next 8 videos. Fictional hero. Fictional hero that inspires you. Comic book character, superhero, Greek god. I don't know if that counts as fictional. I guess it does. Kratos? Kratos? Give me the answers. Type in your answers and send them in. Achilles, he was simply the best. Is he fictional? But the Brad Pitt Achilles, yeah.
That from Wolfgang Peterson again.
So, but aside from him being simply the best, what was a trait of his, Anthony? A trait of his that's a trait that you want to capture? Because he was also very lucky to be the best. Somebody just dipped his body in a river and all of a sudden he was like, you know, immortalized, except for his heel. But what, I mean, clearly he didn't have a good sense of hubris, I guess. What would be a trait that, you know, you would grab onto if you wanted to all of a sudden sort of channel that character? This is kind of what I want to go for. Becca, AON, her determination and willingness to do what she knows is right despite the consequences. That and she is no man. But, she, especially in the movies, because I haven't really read much about her character in the book, but definitely one of the better things about Two Towers and Return of the King was getting to watch that character kick a ton of ass. Achilles is from Trojan World War III Illustrated. And now I'm really confused. But yeah, Becca's answer. I like Becca's answer. Hey Mike. We're having people tell Mike Illick, one of my Savate coaches. We're having people tell us who their fictional heroes are. Wendy, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and no one is surprised. Yeah, between you and Abra. I'm inspired by her resilience. She's not perfect, but she keeps trying, and she doesn't fight alone. She also inspires others to greatness and shares her power. That is awesome, Wendy. Really awesome answer. Sharing and inspiring others. That's exactly what we're all about here. Let's see. Clicking love buttons for everybody. I'm loving these answers. Jesus, he was incorruptible. Hey, you know, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just going to say it depends on if you take the Bible as fiction or nonfiction. I personally am just, I'm all good with whatever you believe, but be careful what you say in a public forum, young one, and the context under which you say it. Jesus is my favorite fictional hero. Depends on who you're talking to, man. Anthony's like, oh, fictional. I love this kid. You're great. John Wick. He knows what he has to do and will see it through no matter the odds. Also great kung fu skills. So are you just taking Keanu Reeves and turning him into a fictional character and he's just the amalgamation of fictional Keanu Reeves, which is John Wick? We all know that John Wick 4 and The Matrix 4 are the same movie. They're not going to come out at this point, but you know. Achilles is from the Trojan War. You asked if he was fictional. So, yeah, I don't think Achilles is technically fictional. We're just going to keep bothering Anthony about this. He's got to be one of the youngest people in the chat, and he's having the hardest time just naming a superhero or a cartoon character. Adriano, I'm not sure who I'm inspired by. Years of reading comics, I wouldn't be able to decide now. I totally get that, Adriano. I would try and think about what qualities you most admire, and then try and think about a character that makes you believe in those qualities. There's a lot of important reasons for why I like to use this question as like a way to help people challenge their personal insight. Anthony, you're amazing. Don't worry about it. I like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. Well played. Well played, Adriano. I like that version of him as well. Yes. Is that a play off of Buffy? Well, we're having a lot of fun this morning.
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie.
The book is great.
I've never read the book.
No, the book is way different from the movie. The book actually takes itself seriously, but in a good way. In a good way. The book is better than the movie. I'm going to say Daredevil. He took a disability and made it into a strength. Yeah.
It's fair.
Granted, so did the superpowers. And now I'm getting a little bit into bitter nerd territory. But there's other qualities in Daredevil, right? Like, you know, he, for one thing, they didn't really go too far within the show, but to go back to like a religion thing, he values what he has. He lets it challenge himself. So the Catholicism angle in season 3, even though I'm not really a Catholic or anything like that, I don't have a lot, I at least like how they portrayed him struggling with his identity, and then how the ending was about him locking down on his principles and staying tight with them. I think that's something that makes Daredevil a hero as opposed to a vigilante. So when we're talking about the difference between a vigilante and a hero, and we're trying to figure out why these dudes that just put people in the hospital every night are actually good guys instead of bad guys, a large part of it is because they do have guiding principles. And they try not to go past those principles in order to achieve what they're trying to achieve. Yeah, the book is fantastic. Yeah, Wendy, the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is actually politically charged and not CGI horse stampede. Okay, I'm going to give my answer for the day. I have a few of them, but I'm at least going to give mine. This one goes all the way back to about high school, back when Adult Swim was really becoming a thing with its animation block. I am a really big fan of Vash the Stampede. I could have talked about All Might today, but I felt like going further back. And my reasons for Vash the Stampede from the anime Trigun are not because he's super duper fast, not because he's really awesome with a gun, and not because he has spiky blonde hair, although I think that always kind of helped me out a bit. His number one superpower is actually his compassion. So we're talking about a god-level character that can nuke a city at will, who wouldn't want to hurt a fly if he couldn't. And that's a huge exaggeration of his abilities and also of his temperament, but it's also true. He does go to the dark side every once in a while. He does threaten people when he's like pushed too far. He doesn't like it. But I've had a lot of anger issues my whole life. I was a firstborn child. I was a child of divorce. I got bullied a lot as a kid. And eventually I got a little bit stronger with my martial arts and everything like that. And one day in college, I also turned into a bully. And that got me in trouble. And I needed to move past that. It's kind of like the great power, great responsibility thing, except it's really focused on what can I do to not make a fight happen? What can I do to stop it? He's not wearing a mask. Everybody knows that he's like this big threat walking around. Everybody's terrified of him because he's the humanoid typhoon. He destroyed a city and he's wanted for $60 billion double dollars. But he literally ends a couple of conflicts in the show with a hug or a smile or a kind word. As much as I love getting super duper strong and I love getting super duper martially capable and I can do all this cool stuff and I think I can handle myself in a fight, I would much rather solve a communication issue or a verbal disagreement by having people be compassionate, not just towards me or somebody else, but also towards themselves. I was trying to help somebody out the other day who was really, really freaking out, and he didn't even realize he was freaking out. And so I pulled him aside and I said, "You're not doing so well. And I'm not trying to be pushy, I'm not trying to tell you what's what, but you're not doing it. He was like, I'm fine. I'm like, you're not. And that's okay. That's okay to not be fine. And this person knew that if I wanted to, I could lay into them and kick their ass and be like, stop being mad, stop blah, 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 bring it down a notch. And I had this moment of clarity. I was like, I don't want to do that to that person. I'm seeing them hurt. I'm seeing that they're hurting. So at least I know I can take care of myself if they snap, and I can control the situation. But before I even go into that territory, you're not doing okay. And that's all right. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. We're getting super strong. We're getting more aware of ourselves. We're hitting that point of self-mastery where you can go down that light side, dark side sort of path, however you want to visualize it. But when you get strong, then you have to be compassionate towards yourself, because you're going to have off days. You're going to have days where you can't push as hard. Don't be lazy, don't be a quitter, don't give up, but also be aware that you are going to break down every once in a while. And when someone else near you is having that breakdown themselves, be aware that they might be mad in your direction, but the first person that they're mad at is themselves. And you got to be compassionate for them sometimes and let them know that it's okay. It's okay to be hurt. Right now, that's what we all need. We need to give each other that empathy and compassion as best as we can. That's my soapbox for today. But my hero comes from a dude that can literally nuke an entire city, ending conflicts with a hug and a smile. I'm going to look at the comments real quick. I just want to see what people have to say. Anthony, Batman. All right, great answer. We're finally getting there with a fictional character. There's no actual Batman here in New York yet, except for the guy in Times Square. Ash from Evil Dead, that is a good one. He can face the hordes of evil and still be a bit ridiculous about it. And on the show, he unleashed the devils from accident because he was stoned. I fully relate. All right, Adriana, we'll end with that. I'd love to keep the chat going, but we really want to keep the video short. We're now bringing it down to under an hour and 15 minutes officially, which is pretty awesome. So
hour and 8 minutes.
Hour and 8 minutes. Let's wrap it up just for now. We'll be back same time tomorrow, 9 a.m. I really hope people join us. It looks like we have a pretty full room. Feel free to comment and like on other people's chats and comments. Be sure that if you like this content, that you like it, you share it, you give it to a friend to try out, you invite people to join our community. Make sure that people know about us on the Instagram, and definitely be using the hashtag that I will type into the chat, the Saga community. If you have posts involving us from before and you would like to share them, tag that. Go into Instagram, type in hashtag the Saga community, and you will see a plethora of posts from other people that have been joining what we're doing, that have been joining this fun little wake-up movement, the conditioning movement, the skill development, fight choreography, action skills. We're building this kind of stuff into the new age of social media so that we can share all the cool stuff that we're doing together. Have a great day, folks. Thanks, Brady and Dylan. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Matt saw the Batman in Times Square last month. Lastly, everything is on YouTube, like I said, time-stamped. I have a new workout video on YouTube from last week. It's a shadow boxing video. Abra and I will be doing 2 skill development sessions this week, Tuesday and Thursday. This is the new schedule. We'll be releasing something soon. And Abra's workout is coming up at 1 p.m. this afternoon, so be here for her afternoon conditioning. Last thing I want to say, again, we are not asking for any money. We are not requesting any. We're all doing actually okay right now, right here. The rent might be due soon. There hasn't been a rent suspension named in New York City yet. If you would like to help us out in any way, there's going to be some ways coming soon that you can. Otherwise, if you do want to send anything in, we are not asking for it. We are not asking for it. We are not asking for it. But if you do, hit me up and ask, and I'll let you know what our Venmo is. All right, that's it for today. Really great work, everybody. We busted through it. We kicked some ass. We all woke up. We got our coffee. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.